Hello students, today I am going to discuss the topic of facing and turning. What is facing? After the setting up of the job, cylindrical job, and tightly gripped under the action of the jaws of the chuck, and obviously upon the movement of the tool and the relative contact of the tool with the desired axis to the axis of the job, the facing action is taken place. Actually, facing is an operation where the tool is provided the motion to the perpendicularly to the axis of the job and some angle with the some angle, that is the angle of inclination will be there, some angle, and the motion of the tool will be provided by the cross feet, and the facing action will be taken place. Facing is the process of removing metal from the end of a workpiece to produce a flat surface. It is actually the operation where the at the end of the surface the smoothness and the accuracy can be obtained with a great precision. Whenever the job is set at the first condition, then the end surface of the job is not the generally not becoming the concentric throughout the material. Some irregularity or the lack of roundness may occur. To remove or to drive out the roundness of the cylindrical object, that is, we want to make the latter operation such like turning and grooving, taper turning, whatever it may be. At first, we want the job to be taken to the uniform diameter or the shape or dimension from one end to the another end. To make it to the uniform dimension and the shape and height, the facing operation is done, because here the metal removal is not as high as that of the turning process, thus but only the accuracy on the circularity of the object is the main factor of the facing process. Most often the workpiece is cylindrical, but using a forge chuck, we can face the rectangular or odd-shaped work to form cubes and other non-cylindrical shapes also. When a lathe cutting tool removes metal, it applies considerable tangential, lateral or sideways force to the workpiece. Obviously, without the cutting force, the materials will not be coming out of the job. To safely perform a facing operation, the end of the workpiece must be positioned close to the jaws of the chuck. The workpiece should not extend more than 2 to 3 times its diameter from the chuck. Otherwise, if the more than that of the value is there, then the proper facing operations might not be performed. This is a job setting on the chuck. At first, we need the raw material this raw material we need, and after the reaching of the raw material to our hands, that raw materials should be carefully taken and should be fixtured in such a way under the action of the gripping force of the jaws. That is, tightening of the jaws are governed by the rotation of the chuck key. Whenever the chuck key is rotated, then it is tightened up, and such that it prevents the deflection of the job during the machining operation. This setting up has to be done very neatly and carefully. And you can see this roundness, this cylindrical roundness, if the diameter over here is 20, then you have to take the from one end to the another end the same diameter at the first level. Generally, this bar, cylindrical bar or cylindrical object, was longer than this. After the cutting by the any sewing machine, this segment of the piece is being featured over here, and you can see there is a lack of roundness. This roundness should be taken into the accurate roundness, and this surface, whichever you can see from this view, this surface should be very smooth. That smoothness also be taken by the process of the fishing operation. Without the fishing operations, that smoothness not be achieved. This is a cutting tool. You can see the nose radius over here. This is a preliminary condition. You can see how the smooth it is, and that cutting tool is fed across this direction, that is a perpendicular to the axis of the job, and some inclination of the cutting tool, that motion, that perpendicular motion to the axis of the job is provided by the rotation of the crossfeed wheel at providing the crossfeed, and this crossfeed motion is given very slowly, and if the any hastiness or quicking or the very rapid motion is given, then there will be some sketch marks or pore impression on the surface. The slow speed of the motion of the cutting tool is needed. And whenever the final passes were gone by, according to the process, there are rough facing and finishing, rough cut and finish cut. These are the phenomenon of the facing operation. For the rough cut, the material removal is slightly bigger or larger, such like 0.01 to 0.05 millimeter, and for the finish cut, for the finishing, it might be a more finer, that is 0.001 to 0.003 millimeter. And finally, the surface, you can see the surface, how smooth it look like. Finally, this smoothness will transfer out, and over the roundness, obviously the roundness is obviously achieved by the facing operation. because always the cutting tool has to initiate the journey for the turning operation from here. The initial position should be any free from any unwanted bumpy impressions or bars. Always the bars or bumpy impressions or unwanted impressions over the surface are removed by the facing operations such that the tool can travel from this position towards the headstock. This is the 0, 0 position. Also the facing purpose is to provide the journey of the tool from the 0, 0 coordinates to the accurate dimension and very smoothly. Now you can see after the facing operation is done, the outer surface or the periphery of the ends over here, maybe with the some bumpy impressions or bars. To remove the unwanted materials, some filing action has to be done over the surface. The job is rotating and some motion of the files should be given there by the relative motion and the contact. The unwanted materials will be moved out and the surface will be smooth and fine. Turning process. What is turning process? This turning process generally comes after the facing operation. Whenever from this end the facing operation is done, the smoothness and roundness and accuracy are achieved. And after that, whenever the dimensions, that is the here the in turning operation, the diameter of the job is to be reduced, then the cutting tool should be provided the motion to make the relative contact of the job, and after the relative contact is made, the machine is on and the job rotates. That is, the turning is a process where the job is rigidly held in chuck or faceplate or driving plate or centers, and a cutting tool is provided the motion over the job. That is a revolving job, and upon the relative contact over the job, the desired amount of material is removed from that material and the diameter is reduced. This reduction of the diameter of the machining process is called the turning process. You can see the cutting tool, and from here to here the machining action to be taking place. And at first, this is the machine portion, axial depth, and if we deduct this circle diameter and this circle diameter, if this is the capital D and this is the small d diameter, then the depth of cut is the capital D minus small d by 2. That is provided by the cross feed over the tool, and it is called the featured depth. And if we make another pass of the tool and move the tool over parallel to the axis of the job, that is a longitudinal feed, then we can also machine in this portion, and we can do the desired the turning process in which diameter that object to be produced. Turning operation. Obviously, you can see this is a larger part and this is a smaller part. This small diameter is reached by the machining process, that is called the turning. From here to here, it is machined, and from the larger diameter, it is reduced to this diameter, providing the motion, that is a longitudinal feed of the tool over the job, and as well as the cross feed. If the cross feed was not provided, then the reduction of the diameter to this diameter, suppose this is a small d, would not have been proceeded. This is a radial feed perpendicular to the axis of the job. Radial feed is provided by the cross feed, and that is why the depth of cut we got. And this is the longitudinal feed parallel to the axis of the job. That is called the feed force also, or thrust force. Three forces are there: cutting force tangentially downwards, feed force, and radial force perpendicular to the axis of the job. This is the impression. If there is a larger depth of cut, unwanted, unwillingly the depth of cut was increased, also the cutting speed is increased due to the abnormal rise in the cutting speed and the depth of cut, the chatter marks can occur, and the poor impression, you can see this type of impression can occur over the workpiece. And this is the stable and the desired surface where the depth of cut and the feed were given to the desired magnitude. Types of taper turning. What is taper? Tapered is nothing. Tapered is nothing but the differences between the dimensions of the two opposite ends of an object. For a cylindrical object, the taper is defined as the dimensional differences, that is the diameter, the differences of the diameter of the two ends, two opposite ends, with respect to the specified length. Obviously, the taper is done over a length, and for a rectangular object, the taper can be defined as the differences between the two opposite ends, that is either width of the two ends or thickness of the two ends. And it can be said in length. Without the specified length, the taper cannot be adjusted. Types of taper turning: step turning, taper turning, spherical turning, hard turning, facing, cutting, grooving. But we will concentrate mainly upon the step turning and taper turning. Hard turning is occurred whenever the hardness of the job is more than Rockwell hardness 45. Then the hard facing are done. This is step turning. If you say this is the 0, 0 axis, from here the depth of cut is provided, and the longitudinal feed is provided up to this portion. Thus, that by providing the desired depth of cut and the longitudinal feed, we can produce this type of job with the step turning. That means step. There is a differences between the diameters from here to here. You can, that is a stepping. increasing, then decreasing, then more decreasing. That is why it is called the step turning. Taper turning. Whenever the diameter of a piece changes uniformly from one end to another, the piece is to be tapered. Already said that taper turning as a machining operation is a gradual reduction in the diameter from one part of a cylindrical workpiece to the another part. Tapers can be either external or internal. Types of taper turning process. These are the 4 or 5 types of that. It can be done by the broad nose or thumb tool, by tail stock setup method, by swiveling the compound rest, or taper turning attachment. But among these, swiveling the compound rest and taper turning attachment are the most vital. But according to syllabus, I will illuminate on the topics of swiveling the compound rest. Initially, the job was with the diameter, this diameter equal to this diameter, initial diameter, but we need to this kind of form, taper, the difference between the two opposite ends. And for this case, we need to calculate the tapering angle. Which angle is to be taken? If suppose this diameter is capital D and this diameter is magnitude is small d, then the formula of the tapering angle is tan alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by 2 into tapering length. And if the magnitude of the two opposite ends we know or we want to make, then the alpha can be generally found out by the calculation, and after the finding out, by the swiveling of the compound rest, this is the swiveling base or the graduation scales, and one pointer is there. This compound rest is swiveled to the desired angle, and upon the movement of this compound slide or wheel, this will make the trajectory, or this will follow this path, this inclined path, and that will not follow the linear or longitudinal axis, and the new axis will be in this phenomenon. In this path, the tool will move and the taper is being created by this process. Thank you.